Welcome to my channel, Sunshine Shoulders. I'm Calvin. Thank y'all so much for stopping by. My life in Zamboanga City, the legend of Sunshine Shoulders, how it all got started. I thought it would be a good time for me to talk about another phase of my life over here in the Philippines. This is from a suggestion one of my subscribers gave me. He said, Calvin, why don't you reintroduce yourself to your viewers and subscribers? You got 60,000 subs now, a lot of new viewers. I thought it was a great idea. But what I did, I started from the haters. That was the first video I did. Now I'm going to pivot back to where it really all started. A lot of my viewers and subscribers, they have no idea that I live down in Zamboanga City, on and off for over 10 years. Matter of fact, I spent just about all of the pandemic and the lockdowns there. Elliot Eastman is in the news. This has nothing to do with him, but I just want you to know that where he lives, I was maybe 30 to 45 minutes from where he lived. Except I was deeper south than him, but a whole world away. I was actually in the city. Of course, I never had any problems, but so whenever you hear me talking about in that red zone and down in that region, I'm talking from experience. I'm not speculating. I'm not going by something I heard. I actually lived there in the squatter area, but I never had any problems in Zamboanga City. As a matter of fact, my son was born in Shodet Hospital in Zamboanga City. I'm welcome there now. And people talking about Muslims and Islam. It is the religion of peace because I was surrounded by Christians and Muslims. They lived side by side there. There was no problem. I didn't even know that was the red zone. It was only about my third trip there that I was told about all of that. And I was really shocked. Yeah, I was scared. I was afraid. But no matter where I go, I'm going to engage with the people. I'm sorry. That's just who I am. I was raised like that. Nobody was angry with me. Nobody was threatening me or anything like that. And I'm sure I rubbed elbows with some of those bad guys because they're there. They have to be there. Zamboanga is the financial hub of that region. So people from Baziland, Holo Salu, Tawi, they always come back and forth to Zamboanga for whatever reason. And even when I used to ride the Tugo from Zamboanga to Dumaguete, and I'd be in the pier at the port, all the people going to Tawi, all of those bad places, they were there. And they would look at you. So that's where it all started, doing the lockdowns. And, I see a little boy, he's going door to door, begging for food. And I said, hey, I'm going to give back. I'm going to help people during the pandemic. I'm going to sacrifice 1,000 pesos out of my savings every week. This is long before my YouTube channel got started. It was my Facebook page. That's where Sunshine Shoulders got started, guys. It wasn't YouTube, it was Facebook. And I did the same thing I do now. I had a little, it wasn't a spin wheel though. It was a bowl. And I put the people's names as they came across me, and we ball it up and put it in the bowl, and then we shake it up and pull a name out. Same thing. But I was in the city now, and let me say something about Zamboanga City. Okay, even though it's in that red zone, if you go to Zamboanga City, it's just an urban city. Just like Bacala, just like Cebu and all of that, right? They call it Asia's Latin City. It has the big malls, the SM, it has KCC Mall. It has all of that, a lot of history. It has the nice restaurants and the nice boulevard and all of that. They've got the church there that was built, I believe, in the 1700s. I'm almost sure of that. It's a nice city. You wouldn't even suspect it, that, it has that type of history, that violent history. But I just want to introduce reintroduce myself to y'all. It's a lot about me you don't know, man. I lived right down there in that red zone for a long, long time. So I can kind of, well, I want to say sympathize with a lot of what he was thinking. You know, because people was like, well, why are you there? Because let me be honest, where he was, it really wasn't what's considered the bad place. I don't know why he was saying that, because he had beef with people there. The bad place is Bossyland and Holo Salute and places in Tawi Tower, Marawi. Okay, the government tells you it's all bad. And you know, and to some points it is. Even Zamboanga, you know, if you look in 2013, they had that siege where the bad guys came in and fought with the government officials and the army and the police. All those people were killed, all those homes destroyed. That was 2013. I started living there in 2010, but I wasn't there then. You know, fortunate for me, I was back in the States, but I kept coming there. And, you know, I was actually in a hotter zone than him. So when he says, hey, when y'all say, hey, why did he stay there? His wife was there. That's a strong connection, man. You know, and really, in his heart of hearts, I don't think he felt really threatened. He just knew that he was in a red zone, just like I did. And I really didn't think for one moment that I was seriously in any danger, even though I was. It was all around me, man. You know, her mother, when I first got there, really, and when they told me all about the bad guys and you know, where I was, her mother said, I don't want you staying in hotels anymore. This is when I started staying in the squatters area, man. I stayed in the squatters area, not because I didn't have the money, because she told me, don't do it. You know, because the very first time she told me that, the very next day, a hotel was blown up down there. Because they talk about the rebel tax, not me. I'm just giving you some context of my life back there. But some of my best times were in Zamboanga. I really liked the place. It was only that cloud hanging over me, though. I mean, I'm human. I wish they never would have told me. You know, the less I know, the better off I am. But it just so happened I was down there, and I knew where I was going to. You know, it was okay the first couple of times, but after they told me, I still came back. Even though I knew the government said don't go there, even though I knew it was a dangerous place. But my wife was there, my son was there. So I can understand why he didn't leave. But I never had any problems, man. The police, the military, and so many down there. I used to see CIA. I'm pretty sure they were CIA, Special Forces. You can see these guys, man. They're bigger. They're badder. They're just bad looking, man. And you see them there, the drones coming down, landing at the airport. Every single day. You saw all of that. But I really, man, just had a normal life down there. The people treated me unbelievable, man, like they do everywhere in the Philippines. But when people talk about Muslims and all that, I have more problems with Christians than Muslims. I never had any problems with Muslims, man. They were not my taxi driver, because they do have taxis in Zamboanga now. But for most of the time I was living there was no taxi, there was no Grab. So my tricycle drivers, my pedicab drivers, they were all Muslim. But they were Filipinos, you know, first and foremost. But during the pandemic, before the pandemic, I had grown to know the people in that little squatter area. Y'all gonna hear noise because Typhoon Christine is upon us. You know, we're not gonna get hit. We're not in the eye of the typhoon, but we get the remnants. It's been raining all day. Luckily, our power is back on because we've been having brownouts all day. You know, unannounced for the last few days, really. Winds picking up. That's what you're hearing out there now. The trees hitting on top of the roof of our dirty kitchen, excuse me. But I had grown to to know the people. They knew me. So when the pandemic hit, I just felt the need to give back, to help, because I was really feeling sorry for myself until I saw the little boy, because I'm like, wow, I can't go outside. I can't do this. I can't do that. Poor me. Woe is me. And I see a little 4-year-old, same age as Booby is now. He's knocking on the door, asking for food and everything like that. And that's how Sunshine Shoulders started. Believe it or not, in the background, Sunshine on My Shoulders Makes Me Happy was playing by John Denver. That's how I got my name, guys. People always ask me, how'd you come up with Sunshine Shoulders? That's how I did it. I mean, it was blasting. They play the karaoke loud here. Sunshine, on my shoulder. I heard that and I was like, wow, why don't I just become Sunshine Shoulders? Why don't I just bring a little light into places where darkness used to be? Had no idea it would turn into all that it's turned into. So I said, well, how am I gonna, because my wife at the time, she said, we're gonna go bankrupt. We can't afford to give 1,000 pesos away every week. You're not working, I'm not working. So I said, well, YouTube owes me some money. Now, YouTube owed me about $53. And I said, well, I know my payout was 100. I said, well, I'll just start talking into the camera. But let me back up just a little bit, okay? I was following Vagabond Awakes. During the lockdown, man, everybody's watching YouTube, including me. And I made a comment on one of his videos like, hey, man, I live here, and I was telling him what my budget was. And he said, can I interview you? And we did a phone interview, and it was real popular. And he told me, he said, have you ever thought about starting a YouTube channel yourself? And I said, no, I never thought about that. He said, yeah, people were really interested in what you had to say. I had no idea how popular the Philippines was. I had no idea. I didn't have a clue. But I knew they owed me $53. But hell, everything had changed. Now you needed 1,000 subscribers. You needed 4,000 watch time hours. I had no idea I would ever reach that. So I just started talking about my life over here. It's just some stuff that I had learned. I'm not an expert on YouTube in the Philippines. People always go back and forth with me on that. Oh, you think you know it all. No, I don't. I'm just telling you about my life. So if you're new and you watch my videos are about me. What I'm seeing, what I'm living, what I'm experiencing. That's all it is. I haven't even scratched the surface of this place. It's too much to know. And I'm an expat vlogger. Meaning I don't go a lot of places. I'm not a vacation vlogger. I'm not an adventure vlogger. So I can help you with questions that you may have if you're going to be here long term. So I just started talking into the camera because I said, well, maybe I can get that $100. That's going to help. And then let me give Black American Expat Radio credit. He saw one of my videos, one of my early videos, before I even had really any subscribers. And he brought me on his show. He had a live stream. And people was interested. And it grew from there. But if you would have told me that after 4 years I'd still be here, talking into my phone, having people from all over the world come to visit us at our little humble house and everything like that, I told you were lying, man. But that's where it all started. It all started in Zamboanga City, down there in the red zone. If you didn't know it, you know it now. But your trouble, wherever you are, has a lot to do with who you are. People knew I've always been humble over here. I tried to keep as low a profile as I possibly could. I never looked down on anybody because I know I'm them in my home country. I'm a hard-working man. I've got to work to eat in my home country. I'm not rich by any standard. I was middle class, middle class, And they knew that, And so we bonded. But yeah, man, I just wanted to let y'all know that part of the story since that region is in the news right now. I lived there for a long, long time, man. A long, long time. One time I lived there 13 months in a row when my son was born, premature. And I went broke. Filipino had to loan me $50,000 to pay the bill. The bill was $350,000 or $300,000, whatever it was. I was $50,000 short, and he gave me that money, man. See, that's what endured me to the people here. I never forget that. It wasn't my family, wasn't my friends, it wasn't anybody. It was a Filipino man who was earning about $140 a month at the time. I'm shocked that he even had the money. So thank y'all for listening. I just wanted to do this and let y'all know that when I talk about that place down there, I know what I'm talking about. I'm talking from experience. I walk those streets, man. You go on his videos, that's where he has to come. To the grocery store and all of that. To Zamboanga. To the markets, the big markets and all of that. I was actually in a more volatile place than he was. Even though I was right there, I felt safer because I was out in the open. And I said, well, hell, ain't nobody gonna kidnap me with all these witnesses and stuff. So yeah, I can kind of get in his head and understand what he was thinking. Nobody really thinks they're gonna be kidnapped. It's always the other guy. But all in all, man, Zamboanga City is a real nice place. If you go there, if you have a legitimate reason to be there, which I did. My wife was there, my son was there. You're gonna see what I saw. They got a beautiful park that they've rehabbed right down by the ocean, because they said, oh, he lives right by the sea. Well, hell, you live in Zamboanga, anywhere down in that area, you're gonna be down by the sea. I lived in what was called Riverville, right by the river. They could have just sailed through there, saw my black ass and took me off. But no one ever bothered me there. And I never bothered anybody. So thank y'all so much for stopping by. You know a little bit more about me now. 56% of my viewers last month were new to my channel. They had never even heard of Sunshine Shoulders. Thank you, man. You know who it was. He said, man, introduce yourself to people. Let them know who you are. Don't stop taking for granted people know you. And this is going to shock a lot of people. Yeah, I lived down there. I was a fool, really. I went against the government warnings. Okay? Because you don't get any more southern than that until you go to the Sulu Archipelago. So if you're in America, in the Philippines, wherever you are, find in your heart to help somebody. Not a day goes by that I don't help somebody. Because if I don't know anything else, I know this one thing for sure. We help other people, we help ourselves. Take care. Stay safe, stay out of trouble. I'll see you next time. And don't do anything stupid. Come on, guys. Let's let the authorities do their job. Stop speculating. Okay, jump into conclusions. I know they found a body in Maginda now, but you know, there's a lot of clan fighting going on over there. People are getting killed. Maybe somebody falls off the boat, lands in the water. That was no white Caucasian male they found. If a body stays in the water for so long, it's a part of your skin breaking down. I believe it's called maceration. And it turns white or lighter than your original shade. And that's what happened. But y'all jump into conclusions. Don't do that, man. Let's hope that this young man is still alive and he can be rescued and returned back to his family.